Why do we often feel judged within just seconds of meeting someone? Welcome, Sage Seekers, to another intriguing episode on the Psychology Sage. Today, we're exploring a phenomenon we've all experienced, the instant judgment that forms our first impressions. These split-second decisions can shape relationships and opportunities in profound ways. Let's unfold the mysteries behind that immediate click or the unseen barrier during initial encounters and discover how deep the impact of a first impression truly runs. The science behind first impressions. Diving into our first segment, the science behind first impressions. It's astonishing how quickly our brains make judgments about new acquaintances. Research suggests it takes merely a tenth of a second. But what happens in that fraction of time? Neurologically, it's a rapid processing act, with our amygdala and posterior cingulate cortex firing up, assessing trustworthiness and likability. Evolutionarily, this was crucial for survival, deciphering friend from foe. Interestingly, studies indicate these initial assessments are sticky, often staying unchanged even after spending more time with the person. It's a cognitive bias known as anchoring, where we rely too heavily on the first piece of information received. This highlights the power and sometimes the unfairness of first impressions because they can overshadow a person's true personality. Realizing this, we need to question our snap judgments, understanding their superficial readings and not definitive insights. The nonverbal cues. Moving on to the nonverbal cues. A substantial part of first impressions is nonverbal cues, body language, facial expressions, and even attire. Our brains are wired to pick up these signals and interpret them, often subconsciously. For instance, a genuine smile that wrinkles the eyes, known as a Dutch-chin smile, can make you seem more sincere, while a firm handshake can convey confidence. Eye contact is another powerful tool, signifying attention and openness. However, cultural perceptions play a vital role here. What's confident in one culture might seem overbearing in another. Space and posture. 2. Communicate volumes. Standing tall denotes self-assurance, while mirrored body language can indicate empathy and create a sense of rapport. But remember, these signals are part of a silent dialogue. It's not just about emitting them, but also correctly interpreting those returned by others. The halo and horns effect. Now let's discuss the halo and horns effect. These are fascinating psychological biases where our impression of someone in one area influences our overall perception of them. The halo effect is when a single positive quality, like attractiveness or a warm smile, casts a halo, leading us to assume they have other positive traits. Contrarily, the horns effect occurs when a negative trait, perhaps arrogance or a particular mannerism, drastically tints our perception, making us view them entirely negatively. Both are automatic biases, significantly influencing our first impressions. They can be especially potent in interviews, negotiations, or meetings, often unfairly swaying our judgment. Awareness is key to countering these biases. By recognizing that they exist, we can consciously remind ourselves to gather more information before cementing our opinions about someone. Mastering your first impression. Onto a very practical segment, mastering your first impression. While we can't control others' perceptions fully, we can certainly influence them. It's about aligning your verbal and nonverbal communication, presenting yourself authentically yet considerately. Start with your attire. What message are you aiming to convey? Dressing appropriately for the occasion shows respect and thoughtfulness. Then work on your introduction. A confident, friendly greeting can set a positive tone. Be mindful of your body language, ensuring it broadcasts openness and attentiveness. Listen, genuinely listen to what the other person is saying, responding thoughtfully. This respectful engagement can leave a lasting positive impact. Also, a quick tip: people love hearing their names, so use it in conversation to establish a personal connection. The double-edged sword of first impressions. While making a positive first impression is valuable, it's also fraught with potential misinterpretations and superficial judgments. On one hand, they can open doors, creating opportunities for relationships, careers, and social standing. On the other hand, they can pigeonhole individuals, masking their true, perhaps more valuable qualities. Furthermore, striving too hard to make a good impression can sometimes backfire, coming across as ingenuine or forced. It's a balancing act between presenting your best self while remaining authentic. Equally important is giving others the chance to reveal themselves beyond that first encounter, withholding final judgment until more substantial interaction occurs. This openness not only fosters fairness, but also encourages deeper, more meaningful connections. Cognitive shortcuts, our brain's role in instant judgments. Let's delve into cognitive shortcuts, our brain's role in instant judgments. Ever wonder why we form instantaneous opinions of others? It boils down to our brain's efficiency, or its shortcuts, known as heuristics. These mental shortcuts expedite our thought processes, enabling quick judgments, especially in social settings. For instance, the representativeness heuristic leads us to evaluate someone based on our pre-existing stereotypes or patterns we've recognized from past experiences. Then there's the availability heuristic, where we base our perceptions of individuals on recent information or memorable events, which may not accurately represent reality. These shortcuts are necessary for our brain to function without getting overwhelmed, but come with the trade-off of sometimes leading us astray. The psychology behind these swift decisions is fascinating, revealing that they're less about the person we're judging and more about our mental wiring and previous experiences. Understanding this can help us be more mindful and less judgmental, recognizing the subjectivity in our instantaneous assessments. First impressions in the digital age, virtual interactions, and social media. Navigating to a modern context, we discuss first impressions in the digital age, virtual interactions, and social media. Today's world often introduces us to people through screens, where we make snap judgments without face-to-face interactions. Profile pictures, social media activities, and even email addresses can significantly influence our initial perceptions. In the realm of social media, for instance, we often judge individuals based on the content they post and their interactions in the comments section. These digital footprints contribute to a perceived image, which may differ greatly from the person's real identity. Video calls add another layer, where aspects like background settings and camera angles come into play. The challenge here is the absence of full nonverbal cues we rely on in person. This digital era phenomenon shapes new rules for first impressions, reminding us to be cautious and considerate in the virtual image we project and the snap judgments we make online. As we've uncovered today, the swift nature of first impressions holds immense power, shaping our social interactions and personal pathways. If you found insights in our journey through the human psyche, remember to hit subscribe to stay updated with the Psychology Sage. Together, let's continue this journey, understanding ourselves and others deeper with each video. Your engagement and curiosity fuel our content, so comment, share, and be a part of this community dedicated to learning and growth. Until our next exploration, keep the heart and soul in your journey.